Hey everybody, welcome back. I am God's humble messenger. Today I'm going to talk about being strong and courageous when you're pursuing God's will. This video is based off the article on my website titled Strong and Courageous: Pursuing God's Will in Your Life. There is a link in the description below. I will also include a link to my full website, which has other articles you should go check out with more on the way. You can also now find me on social media. I am on Instagram and Facebook. There are links to each page on my website. Alright, on to the story. When God calls you to live your life according to His will, it often requires you to step out of your comfort zone and become strong and courageous. In my case, I had to step way out of my comfort zone. Listen to my first few videos. While I always sounded this good, I didn't always sound this natural speaking. That's because I am a writer, not a speaker. But God asked me to step out of my comfort zone and start a YouTube channel where He knew I would have to speak. Stepping out of my comfort zone required me to be strong and courageous. Strong and courageous. I did not pick those two words randomly. These are the words that God spoke to Joshua in Joshua chapter 1, verse 6, when He told Joshua that he would lead the Israelites into the promised land. This is right after God told him, "I will be with you, I will never leave nor forsake you." This is true for every believer who is called to do God's will in their life. If you have been called according to God's will and you are working to fulfill God's calling in your life, know that He will never leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous when stepping out of your comfort zone to pursue God's calling. Jesus reaffirms this in Matthew chapter 28 verses 18 through 20 during the Great Commission. He gives His disciples all the authority in heaven and on earth that was given to Him to go out and make disciples of all nations. He ends by telling them, "I am with you always to the very end of the age." How comforting are those words. Jesus is with you always. God is with you always. What other reassurance could you possibly need when going out to fulfill God's calling in your life? God will never send you out to do His work alone. He will be with you in everything that you do, especially when what you are doing is what He has called you to do according to His will. Going back to Joshua, God told him 3 times to be strong while leading the Israelites. God wanted Joshua in this endeavor to not lose focus, remain firm and resolute, and not be swayed from the purpose God called him to fulfill. He was basically telling Joshua, keep your eye on the prize, if you will. He wanted Joshua to be constant in his will, to focus on the path God put him on and the goal God laid out for him. He did not want Joshua to become distracted by earthly things, causing him to lose focus on his work. This, of course, is easier said than done because the closer you get to God, the more Satan will try to distract you and dissuade you. If you find yourself under a full-fledged attack, first of all, I want you to know that you are not alone. I have gone through this, and I'm sure every Christian you know at some point or another has had the devil put them in his crosshairs for one reason or another. Actually, since my spiritual awakening, it has happened so much that I am able to recognize it before it affects me one way or another. I rebuke the devil in Jesus' name, and he flees. But if you find yourself under attack, especially a full-fledged, all-out assault, it only means that you are close to succeeding. The devil will do everything he can to distract you because he does not want you to succeed. He wants to beat you down and break your will so you do not fulfill God's plan in your life. Don't let him. This is where you have to be strong. Fix your eyes on God and keep them there. Turn to Him to get you through the storm. When God charged Joshua with leading the Israelites into the promised land and dividing that land amongst the people, he obeyed without delay. When we do not act right away in following God's calling, we are often met with reluctance. We start to overthink things and talk ourselves out of our ability to do whatever it is God has put on us to pursue. We convince ourselves that we are lacking, not qualified to do God's work. Let me tell you right now, if God chose you for something, you are qualified. You are good enough, and you can do it. God will not put anything on you that you cannot handle. Don't doubt yourself. If it is God's will and He has called you for a specific task, you can do it. So when God calls you to do something, do not hesitate. Has God revealed His will for your life? Has He called you to serve Him? If so, grab hold of that calling and pursue it with all of your might. Do not hesitate. Be strong and courageous in whatever He has called you to do, because He will never leave you, nor will He forsake you. He is with you always. And that's my story for today. If you like this video, please hit that like button and share this with your friends. If you want to hear more content like this, subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a video. Also, if you have a story about how you or someone you know has experienced God, send me an email. Tell me your story. With your permission, I may want to turn it into a video. You never know who you might inspire with your story. Thank you for listening. I will see you next time. God bless.